No, I'm going to disagree. I think British Bulldog was a legend, no matter what.
Mm.
Tag team champion, intercontinental champion, and had a pretty good run at singles. I think.
But release him in that era, not the.
Well, are you saying that he doesn't deserve a Legends figure because he's not a legend, or because he's wearing the wrong attire?
I think they've chose the wrong attire. He's definitely a legend. I think they've released him.
White tights. Should be white tights with the flag on the butt. Yeah.
Yeah. And Hacksaw, to me, Hacksaw and Mr. Perfect definitely belong. They're two absolute legends of the WWF back in the day. Well, let's quickly go through them. So Hacksaw, great figure. Came with the flag and obviously the 2x4. British Bulldog. I had it. I sold it. Passed from me.
Do you like the jacket though?
Yeah, not very nostalgic for me. Mr. Perfect, great figure. Still have that.
Yeah, I've got
The Rock. What do you think of the Rock?
I think the head's wrong.
Yeah, it's very early on. Vader.
It's not the best Vader now that there's the newer Legends Vader, but or the Elite Vader. At the time it would have been pretty good.
Yeah, and Brian Pillman, pass from me.
Yeah, it's a pass for me too for Brian Pillman.
What was your favourite out of that line, mate?
Mate, without a doubt, Mr. Perfect. You've got the sweat towel. You've got the Intercontinental belt. Nailed the attire. Nailed the head. Got the pretty close-looking body. His legs are a little bit small, but the rest of him looks spot on.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm going to go with Hacksaw just for the accessories and such an iconic character.
Do you know when you said earlier about Jake the Snake, have they ever made a bad Jake the Snake? They haven't really made too many bad Hacksaws either. Every now and then his face looks a bit dopey, but then if you actually look at him, his face does look a bit dopey.
Yeah. So, sorry, Hacksaw, if you're listening to that, there's no offense.
He's a friend of mine, Hacksaw, so I'll get him to do if we do a new intro for the pod, I'll ask Hacksaw to do it.
Even going back to both Jake and Hacksaw, even going back to their LJN figures, they're both great.
Yeah.
Still stand the test of time. And
Hacksaw looks like what you can imagine him looking like back in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, that's Series 3 wrapped up. Next episode, we'll be talking about Series 4. Let's get into, let's hear another word from our major. Actually, before we go into hearing another word from Go Figure Collectibles, I wanted to acknowledge Jeff. So last episode we had our Q&A giveaway, which was a Trish Stratus from memory.
Yeah.
And the winning, I can't remember the name, so apologies. The winning question wrote to me and said, "Look, donate it back. I've already got it. Just give it to someone else." And I said, "Look, I'll reach out to Jeff, see if he can exchange it." And I said, "Is there anything else you need?" And he said, "Yeah, I need an MVP or this, that, and the other from a couple of other series." And I spoke to Jeff, and Jeff straight away said, "Yeah, no worries. Just I'll swap him. I'll swap it. I'll swap the Trish Stratus for an MVP." So he sent the winning member an MVP figure. So that's
very
legendary
nice.
status.
Yeah, well, very nice. Although precedent's been set now, please don't every time you win something, don't send, "Hey, can I have something else?" Because let's just be grateful and unsell it if you don't want it.
For sure. Okay, let's hear a word from Go Figure Collectibles.
Coming towards the ring,
Mattel, Jax, Hasbro, LJN, Remco, Super 7. Are you looking for a store that stacks all the latest and greatest wrestling figures? Then look no further, because Go Figure Collectibles has everything you're looking for. Jeff and the team at Go Figure Collectibles are always filling the shelves with the latest releases and buying up old cherished collections to fulfill any vintage collection needs. Visit them online at gofigurecollectibles.com.au, or if you're in the Melbourne area, go check out their store at 104 Bakers Road, Coburg, North Victoria. And introduce yourself to Jeff and the team. Plus, Wrestling with Figure podcast listeners can use the code FDU5 to save 5% off your next purchase store-wide. That's Go Figure Collectibles.
it's question time. It's question time. It's time to ask the boys a question. What's on your mind? Let us know and we will tell you the answer.
Here we go, Q&A. Now, mate, we've only got one question tonight.
Oh, that'd be nice and quick.
Absolutely. And this one comes from Ro Alexander. I've started to see a lot of custom seller move to making bootlegs of green cards and mail away Hulk. What are your thoughts on this? Good question.
Well, it's a great question. I actually sold my custom mail away Hulk that was made by Darren Sedgwick, who's a very popular customizer in the UK. The reason I sold it was because I have a genuine one, but I bought it before I had the genuine one, thinking I was never going to spend that much money on a mail away. Now, the custom is very similar, but Darren deliberately does the bandana slightly different so that you can tell that it's not genuine, so people can't try and sell it. Mail away takers are a huge risk if it's not in the bag. Not in the bag, and Bret Hart, don't believe anyone if they tell you it's a legit. However, if you've bought enough customs like me in the past, you can tell the figures don't feel the same. So the paint textures are different. I'd be very confident to be able to pick a custom from a genuine figure, but you don't always know when you're buying online. So I'll just say be very careful, pay goods and services, ask lots of questions, get lots of photos, ask opinions of people. I don't have an issue with people making customs of anything because that's their right. Like, well, you can't tell somebody how to do their art. And it's not just figures. You think, look at anything's been changed and customized, people's artwork and shoes and all sorts of stuff. So it doesn't sit well with me. People, as long as they're not trying to sell it as genuine, that doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest difference, right? I think you've each to their own with customizing. And there's a difference between customizing and customizing released figures, right? So there's many members in our group who do cracking customized figures of figures that weren't released. But when they do, the Greg the Hammer Valentine is a classic example. So
we've got another question on the comments here from Facebook user. It says, Motu WWE series, why do you think the drop from 4 to 3 wrestlers? So I already know the answer to this question. They were going to have a 4th figure in that collection. And my brain tells me it was meant to be Braun Strowman and a different Braun Strowman. But it could have been Bray Wyatt. Both of them left the company, and that could be the reason. It's because it's the last season.
I thought the reason was because it's a shit crossover and a shit product.
And you're a shit friend. The reason was it's their last series. So the current series that you can get online or wherever with Rey Mysterio and Stone Cold and somebody else, it was going to be the last one. Some reason they couldn't produce the 4th figure, so they dropped it to 3. The other thing they changed with those series is the comic books. I posted on the page. The comics used to have a really crappy little comic fold-out 4-page book, and now it's just a cover, a blank open book, and a back cover. So there's no actual comic at all, which begs why would you even bother? So that's the reason they dropped from 4 to 3, and then there'll be no more WWE Motu in the future. They've canned it now, and back on the retros.
Oh, that's a shame.
I'm actually glad because they're a pain in the ass to order in from overseas. They're a heavy weighing figure, and they take up a lot of space. And half of them, just like good old He-Man figures, they don't stand up properly. And it says here, but James, you do turtles instead.
What, crossover?
Well, there's no crossover. You collect turtles, though.
I collect turtles, but I don't collect the wrestling turtles one. That doesn't make sense either.
Well, we're getting there. And you do like Batman. There you go.
Do you like Batman?
I don't really know much about Batman. It's not for me. Hey, we're on record pace tonight.
We are.
We said we were aiming for an hour, and this might be the first time ever we actually finished within an hour.
Yeah. Awesome.
So are we going to give the prize to that one question?
Yeah, we'll send him a stubby holder.
Yeah, do it. Yep.
There you go. Thank you. So I'll get his name back up. I think it was Rowan from memory. Anyway, here we go. Ro Alexander, thank you for sending your question. We'll send you a stubby holder.
And our mate KG, he said if there was a Batman crossover, you'd be all over it. So now he's down.
No, I wouldn't. Doesn't make sense. I'm happy to be a Debbie Downer tonight. Doesn't make sense. Crossovers just don't make sense.
So, James, I've got a question for you. If they did a Batman crossover, who would be the wrestler they'd use for Batman?
Oh, it'd have to be The Rock.
All right, who'd be the Joker? Who'd be the Joker?
Modern or old school?
All time. Be Hot Rod, surely. Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Ric Flair. Someone like Ric Flair or Roddy
Ric
Piper.
Flair would be a good Joker. I like Ric Flair as a Joker.
Yeah.
And then obviously you would have to have or Sting as the Joker in the comments. That's a great call.
Yeah.
Sting
I think there is a figure of him as the Joker, isn't there? Or face paint as the Joker?
And Brad Perryman, our mate, has said, who in the WWE would be the Silver Surfer?
Next question, Bradley. Come on, mate.
And Matt Riddell would be the Riddler.
Let's keep going. We can wrap this up now. We want to stay under this record time of 60 minutes. Well, that's us for the week, eh? You got anything else to say, Chris?
Just one thing. Just addressing the group here. Really pulling at the heartstrings here. That's really like seeing people helping each other out in the group. There's been a few posts in the last few days of people doing it tough, sort of seeking a bit of advice or help, and people have been very respectful, and it's very nice to see. So very good. However, there was a couple of posts around the Rumble that I had to delete, mainly involving the nudity during the Charlotte Flair match. Let's just try and keep it PG. Her top popped off a few times, and I'm pretty sure it popped off for about a minute in one section of the match. And it was like no one noticed, and it was like I was about to get my eye poked out. But I just think those sort of posts bring a potential shitstorm to the group. So I deleted them. Don't want to be the fun police. But we all saw the booby. Like, we don't need to talk about it.
Nice. Yeah. Another thing too, guys, in terms of selling within our group, I'm only saying this because I've experienced it firsthand of late. So I've been selling a lot lately, and thank you to everyone that's purchased from me and haven't had any issues. Right? It's been brilliant. Everyone's been respectful. It's been great. But there's a very small, very, very, very small amount of people that it was brought up in the group just recently, and I just wanted to back up that person because I experienced it firsthand. If you reach out and ask about an item and request photos, and you go out of your way to get photos and you do it all, and then you get ghosted, think about that, right? Like, if you're really not ready to buy it, even if you don't want to buy it, just say thanks, but no thanks. I had an experience where that happened. I was like, I haven't heard back from him. So I messaged a day or two later. He's read the message and still hasn't said no thanks. It's just disrespectful. It's time wasting. Just everyone's busy. I get it. You may be too shy to say no. It's okay. You can say no. No one's going to be annoyed if you're not going to buy their product. But if you are requesting photos and people go out of their way to get it out, have the decency just to say yes or no. Either way, just respond. And
thank you to all the people who bought Defining Moments figures from me, who all sent me a thank you message and told me they love their figures. Very easy. I had like 6 or 7 sales. Very easy to deal with all those people. And I'll give you the hot tip. If you ever just sell Defining Moments figures, be prepared for heavy shipping because they're big, they're bulky, and they're a pain in the ass to ship. So
I've got a Macho Man for sale, guys, if you want.
Oh, nice one. What, Mania 3 or the Mania 7?
Mania 7. Mania 7. All right, let's wrap it up, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the Wrestling with Figs podcast on Apple iTunes, please do so and leave us a 5-star review. Helps us get the pod out there and reach the ears of many other members down under. I wanted to thank everyone that's supported the show so far. It means a lot. KG's, he's joined us tonight, which is awesome. Great to have you here, mate. Check out the website, wrestlingwithfigs.com. You can find us on all the social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and always use the hashtag, the hunt never ends, because you know why, big fella?
Never, ever ends. Never ends.
It never, ever ends. Thank you once again, guys. And let's, I keep saying, our catchphrase here is, we'll catch you in the toy aisle.